What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So I wanted to make this video discussing Kizaru, the recent super evolution that did come out recently. And the thing is this guy's a Rumble legend, so I wanted to actually showcase him in Rumble, showcase exactly what he is doing. Now, the DEX team currently in Rumble is honestly pretty good, and there's a lot of competition for places on these teams. The good thing about this Borsalino is that he is a Rumble legend, meaning he is 20 cost, so he's pretty easily injectable into these teams. Obviously, the caveat with that is that there is also the 11th anniversary Kizaru, which I personally have been using a ton in Rumble teams recently, because I do think he's actually a really solid unit, synergizes well with Rob Lucci, the 10th anniversary Ace, so it is kind of hard to inject, both of these Kizarus onto the team. It's going to be tough. But what does this Kizaru actually have that is going to be a net positive? Now, I think that if you're building your DEX team to specifically only go up against quick focus teams, then I think this is going to be a better option to run over the 11th anniversary Kizaru. His Rumble ability giving your DEX teammates a lot of speed and defense, which is obviously a positive, and also allowing your quick enemies to get level 8 attack down and level 8 speed down. Quick teams naturally do have a lot of speed, so being able to reduce that and reduce the amount of damage that you take just via that Rumble ability is overall a positive, and you're seeing this team absolutely wipe the floor with that challenge difficulty Edward Weevil boss fight. The secondary clip that we have here is up against the challenge difficulty Kawamatsu. Typically, you probably wouldn't use a DEX team up against a slasher team really all that often. However, with the power that the DEX team has, it's really not that terrible, and especially with the ability that the brand new Kizaru with his 6+ has, having that 17 CT special that not only does solid 3500 fixed damage in that large range, but also gives your DEX allies defense and attack and speed for 20 seconds. It then states that if you have a full team of DEX allies, then he targets 3 enemies with high special CT for a 20% delay. Having a special on cycle that can, launch very quickly, like 17 CT is absurd for what this special is actually doing. I would say that if there were other abilities to grant additional special CT on your team to allow Kizaru to launch even faster, that's going to be a net positive for your squad. And having this utility effect that not only can actually do a pretty solid amount of little chip damage towards the opponent, but also being able to reverse the special CT. We've seen this with a countless amount of characters that have come out over the past 12 months or so. Extremely valuable asset to have for your team. Moving on to our third clip of the video up against the Esper challenge difficulty. Honestly, the side team, at least this specific side team, is pretty mundane, not really a lot going on here. In terms of their raw damage, they're kind of just hoping that, they get the massive damage from Esper, and they do have some support style units with Law and Borsalino and stuff, but yeah, this is not a ultra threatening team. They do have Gear 5 and Yamato on the bench, which I suppose is where some of the damage can come from, but ultimately this frontline isn't that scary, so nothing really too crazy here. In terms of the other characters that you can surround this character with, now I think quite obviously if you're building a DEX team, you pretty much want to be using 10th anniversary Ace, because the damage that he can provide is pretty absurd. Ace does have a relatively high special CT, but for the damage that he can provide, I think it's a worthy payoff, especially if you've got some pretty decent investments into him. That damage does scale up quite high. One thing with Ace though is you do have to have a Monkey D Garp or a Luffy or a Sabo, I think, on your team in order to actually make full benefits of your kit. So this is why Rumble Garp that came out is a really good option as well. There is also the Garp that came out with Figureland Garling, who is a deck shooter character that you could potentially run on your team. I don't remember off the top of my head what his abilities are, but we know that naturally he's going to have pretty good abilities in normal content, so I assume that some of that would carry over into Rumble. Now, Dex Kaido versus Kaido is obviously going to be a character you want to use because he just has an absurd special ability they can just do a ton of damage just out of nowhere. And then from that point onwards, it's really up to you about how you build your DEX team. You've got like DEX Lucci, which I've been using alongside with Ace and the 11th anniversary Kizaru, and has been working really well. I know this Uta is a character that some people like. It's a unit that can allow you to get some specialty CT stuff, but you got a ton of other units. You've got Blackbeard, you've got Dex Big Mom, you've got obviously a lot of very good Rumble Rare recruits, and especially if you're trying to put this Kizaru into your team, it's actually going to be kind of tough to figure out what kind of Rumble Rare recruits you want to run, because I think Pell is a mainstay. You've got Sober Mask, you've got Bullet, you've got Dalton, Cavendish is an option, Moria. There's so many good options for Rumble Rare recruits for the Dex teams these days. Final clip of the video is going to be a Dex mirror match up against the Avalo Pizarro challenge. So this is a bit of an interesting matchup. You know, Pizarro has a really good utility focused special, along with San Juan Wolf and Blackbeard and Roger. Like, this is the team that is focused on cutting your health a ton and then using Kaido to kind of wave clear your side of the field. So yeah, this can definitely be a relatively threatening matchup, literally against anything, because if they can get their specials off in the right timing, it'll just beat everything. Like, legitimately, it has the chance to beat everything depending on the way that the specials launch. But Kizaru having that really nice utility to reverse the specials and getting everything back up as soon as you possibly can is just so nice. And I actually really do like using this Dex Uta just to give a bit more cooldown. I do feel like the ability of 11th anniversary Kizaru does synergize a little bit well with this team, with this exact setup, because you got Uta that can give special cooldown, you have the 11th anniversary Kizaru which can give cooldown, and also with the 11th anniversary Kizaru, he actually launches his special on death, meaning that you can put him on the front line kind of as like a kamikaze unit, so that when he goes down you can bring another really solid bench unit in, and Kizaru with his special being able to launch his special as fast as you possibly can, does give like massive assets to both Lucci and Ace to give you even more damage against the opponent. But overall, I think this is a really good character to use, and especially because he is going to be a free character this month with the Rumble season. If you don't have him, you can get him super evolved. Of course, without the investments, he's not going to be as good as what you're seeing in this video, but still a relatively good asset considering the fact that he is a 20 cost unit and you can put him on your Dex team, and he's going to provide relatively solid output for both utility sense and also providing decent damage. So hopefully you enjoyed this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy it, and if you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
Happy Halloween!